All right, y'all. Hey, check it out, man. We back with another reaction. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we with my boy Roland Martin, Unfiltered. And what we discussing today basically is Shanquella Robinson, man. Hey, check it out. I just stumbled across this story. I seen the video. This shit was fucked up, homie. That's like you going with people you just think that you really think that's your friends, man. And people will get you somewhere real far, take advantage of what you got. Cause so far that seemed like that's what it was. Old girl done paid for this little thing where they was, the little room, Airbnb or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? She paid for everybody to get there, for them to have a great vacation and to celebrate one of her friends' birthdays, man. Which we think the birthday was a joke. You feel me? But I ran across this story right here, man, and this is super sad, man, because we all have cousins and loved ones we wouldn't want shit like this to happen to, man. For real. So I'm gonna let Roland and them discuss it and recap it and go through it for those who haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? This is something I'm definitely ain't trying to get actually monetized off of. But we can get the views out there. We can spread the love and spread the knowledge, and then we need a conviction for the person that did it, man. Because when she went there, they showed her all happy, ready to turn up. The day after she died, and they said that it was alcoholism. You know what I'm saying? So now come to find out she had like a severed spine broke, you know what I'm saying, the back of her neck. And then you could see a girl in the video and somebody filming the shit. Nobody helping her or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They filming it. And that's what incriminated them right there, man. People don't know when to use the cameras. You feel me? But I ain't gonna talk to y'all for life. I'm gonna let Roland and them discuss it, man, and we just gonna react to it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay on y'all end, man. You already see the subscribe, like, and share to the channel, though, regardless. Like I said, this ain't for no monetary gain, this particular subject right here. This is to get the awareness out there, man, to watch out for looky-loos, watch out for fake friends, all that shit, bro. On everything I love, man. We finna get into the discussion, though. Let's go. Holla at your boy. Hey!
Mexican authorities opened an investigation into the mysterious death of Shanquella Robinson. On Thursday, Mexican prosecutors announced they opened this investigation. Robinson was on a birthday celebration with a group of friends from Charlotte in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, where she was found dead.
I don't never want no friends like that. You know what I'm saying? So far, the friends I have been the most beautifulest people I know. But then again, the more you get, the more jealous and envy they get. You know what I'm saying? It was out of jealousy. It gotta be.
Robinson's family has sought information about how their daughter died 24 hours after arriving in Mexico. A viral video showed what appears to be Robinson being brutally beaten by a woman in a hotel room as a couple of men
They showed the video
and actually comment while it's happening. Robinson's friends initially told her parents she died of alcohol poisoning. However, the Mexican Secretariat of Health autopsy report doesn't mention alcohol at all. It found she suffered severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. And it shows that it took about 15 minutes between her injury and death. Folks, hundreds gathered on Saturday to show their respects for Shanquella Robinson's funeral at Macedonia Baptist Church. Tamika Mallory, co-founder of Until Freedom, attended Shanquella's funeral and has been in close contact with the Robinson family. She joins us right now. This is really an absolutely strange case, Tamika, because she supposedly travels with friends. Her mother says that one of the gentlemen who Shanquella is known for a number of years was in constant contact with the family after they got back until the autopsy report came out. And all of a sudden, he stopped calling.
Yeah, until the video came out, actually. I think it was right around that time that he stopped calling. And it's really not that strange, Roland. It's very clear that everyone on that trip knows about what happened to Shanquella, excuse me. It's very clear. They're all very aware of what took place, and they made up a story about the alcohol poisoning. And I think it is really, really horrific that they would show up at her mom's house. It wasn't just the young man. who was supposed to be her best friend. But in fact, the woman who you see attacking her in the video also showed up at her mom's house. They brought back the her luggage with her clothes in it and some other things from her purse, and gave it to her family with the story about the alcohol poisoning, when in fact they knew that she had sustained injuries to her neck and her spinal cord.
Now the hits look like she was hitting them all in the neck, and that looked like a big ass person, man. On the real though, see, they Roland showed it. I didn't show it.
That really, it basically ended her life. They knew exactly what happened, and no one has come forward to tell the full story. But somehow these videos are leaking, and I want to assume that it is a person who knows that, you know, the truth needs to be told about what happened to Shanquella.
And clearly, I mean, these were what's sickening. These were so-called friends.
Right, right. They were supposed to be her friends. You know, these are people that she had been around, especially the best friend. This young man, I believe his name is Khalil. He had been on trips with her family. He'd been on family trips with her. She'd been on trips with his mom. They knew one another for several years. He was not a stranger to their family at all. And, you know, as he visited, mom and dad describe, or at least mom describes, that, you know, he was in her home breaking a sweat when asked different questions about the specific details of what took place that evening, or that day. He also, you know, he looked unwell. And one would think that maybe it's because his best friend died. But now, after we see the video and her mom is able to recognize the voice in the video, and it sounds like him saying, "Are you going to fight back? Are you going to do something for yourself?" So it seemed to be a joke, and probably until it wasn't funny anymore.
Real shit though. She probably just had animosity with old girl, and they probably didn't mean for it to go that far, and it just happened to do that because old girl wasn't fighting back. She was straight saying no. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, man. On the real, man. That's crazy right there. Friends, man. People, I don't need no new friends. No new ones. Besides my subs. Y'all my friends. And we trust each other so far because we ain't around each other. Let's go.
So funeral takes place. The FBI there in Charlotte, they also are now involved.
Yeah. So the FBI at first, the State Department put out a statement based upon, of course, what the Mexican authorities released to them, which was that there was no sign of foul play. Hopefully, I hope that they did that in advance of the medical examiner's report coming out, which is problematic in and of itself, because we should certainly be waiting for a medical examiner's report before making a statement about whatever the case may be with this particular person, or with a victim, or a person who has died in any way.
Oh yeah, they said too though. It's another video out there, so we kind of like waiting on that one too though. It was the other girl that was there that's supposed to have picked her up and slammed her or something like that. So that's supposed to be a camera that's coming out too.
And so they didn't do that. They put out their statement prematurely. And of course, now that the video is out, it has changed things. In addition to that, the social media, as you know, does its own job. And so before even the video details, people were questioning what happened to her. Then the video drops, and people started tagging me saying, you know, have you seen this? Pay attention. Even close friends and family of mine reached out to say, you know, you got a lot of things going on, but this situation seems really, really serious and it needs our attention. So that night, maybe about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, Tiffany Lofton, who you have on the show often, she and I had done a full investigation, and we were very clear that something more than the story that had been told to her family had actually happened. So we reached out, found her family the next day. They, at that time, were struggling. They didn't have anything. It had been several weeks. It took them time to get their daughter's body back. They paid $6,000 to do that. Her father, Mr. Robinson, describes this process of looking for his daughter by calling every number possible in Mexico, trying to locate her remains. They still don't have all of her possessions. And so as we found out that they needed support, we went right into organizing mode. We started sharing information, asking people to contact the ambassador to Mexico and the United States, also reach out to the State Department, the FBI, and people, by hundreds of thousands of people, we know for sure because we've been tagged in the videos. In the posts that people have posted and shared, and phone calls and emails being made to support her, because so many people have really been rocked by this. It's really just such a sad story. And after several days, including, of course, and first and foremost, the parents being very, 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 very intentional, and not giving up on ensuring that the authorities look at this situation a little bit closer. And with all of that pressure put together, they decided more has happened here and there needs to be a full investigation.
Man, real spits,
So
man.
with that, in terms of one of the things I saw one of your posts as well, her father talked about paying for her funeral, and a GoFundMe was created, and several professional athletes have also stepped up to pay for those expenses. Right? Share those details with us.
Yeah, so when I was talking with her family and we found out that $6,000 again had been spent on getting her remains back to the U.S. But then also, of course, there were funeral expenses. Reverend Jamal Bryant and others were calling, saying, "What can we do? How can we help?" And so we decided to help them start a GoFundMe that is directly, all of the resources go directly to their family. Her sister Tequila, she is the one who is managing the GoFundMe for her mom. And when we heard
Man,
of
bro.
all the expenses, and also understanding that there will be more expenses associated with legal fees. Of course, they will need to travel if there is going to be a trial that takes place in Mexico. We don't know all of those details at this time. They have had a very good conversation with attorney Ben Crump, just to kind of see sort of what are some of their options, and also to know that there are legal representatives and lawyers and otherwise that are ready, willing, and able to step in to support them. And I have to also give a shout out to attorney Suann Robinson, who really has been helping to work with the family as a representative and as a colleague of Ben Crump's. And so we decided that we should start the GoFundMe. We set it up, and Dad was very, very, he's a very proud man. I've come to love Mr. Robinson and the way in which he speaks. If you see him do interviews, you'll know what I mean. And he was like, "I don't need a GoFundMe. I don't need any of that for my daughter." He's proud. He's like, "I will take care of whatever it is, whatever I have to do." But we convinced him that there are people around the world.
That's why everybody should life insurance up though, so we won't have to do those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, I had to do that for my mama. Real talk. I didn't even have the cheese at that time because it was all of a sudden we didn't think she was gonna go that fast on the real. So I advise anybody to ante up and get it popping right now before something like that happen next time. You know what I mean? Real talk. Let's go.
Who want to be supportive. And that he should allow his family to set up this GoFundMe. And of course, Kyrie Irving, our other brother, my son, he reached out to Kyrie and just let him know what was going on. Kyrie didn't even say anything, so we didn't know whether he was going to support or not. But as soon as the GoFundMe went live, it must have been 2 hours after I posted it, Kyrie donated $65,000. I think there is another basketball player named Kemba Walker, who also donated 20,000. Coach Stormy and her colleagues. I mean, people really poured out, but everyday folks gave anywhere between $20, some people $5, all the way up to, in my case, I gave 500. The comedian Little Rel. I mean, everybody stepped up to try to support this
That's
family.
what's
So
up,
now
man.
they're over $350,000.
That's what's
We'll
up.
probably try to get it to at least a 500,000, and then at that point, they probably will make the decision to take it down.
So, there's somebody who created one 4 days ago called Justice for Shanquella Robinson, trying to raise $20,000. And so, folks, everybody who's watching, this is not the one for the family.
That's right.
And so, hopefully, the family can contact a GoFundMe to have this taken down. Only $146 has been given to it, but this is not the one, folks. So do not, if you see Justice for Shanquella Robinson, that is not.
Man, people trying to captivate off the girl's death, bro. That's crazy. Man, it's crazy, man. Government need to kick some checks, man. For the simple fact that all our ancestors helped build all this shit.
The official one. This is
Man.
the official one right here that Quilla Long organized. That one has raised $358,304 of a goal of $350,000. And so, if you look, and also, folks, if you look on here, again, there is another one. Like I say, then there's a. It looks like there actually, as we see here, there are two others here to make us let the family know.
I thankfully GoFundMe reached out through our brother Michael Blake. He had them to reach out to us to make sure that everything is straight with the account, and so I will reach out to them to let them know. But that brings up another point, because that's not unusual that people start additional pages. People try to steal money from victims' families, but also they started Instagram pages in her mother's name, in Salamandra, Robinson. They started an Instagram page and have been sharing information that is actually has not been confirmed at this point, which is that the friends stole $10,000 from Shanquella since she died. They don't know that. The family does not know that. Also, we saw swirling that the woman attacking Shanquella is actually a trans woman. We don't know that at all. In fact, Tequila, when I spoke with her, she doesn't believe that that's accurate. So, there's information out there that people will share for whatever reason, whether it's clickbait and or to actually steal resources from this family. It sounds like something that's so horrific, but people do it.
Hey, but on the real, the way that girl, whatever, when they showed the picture, they showed a picture of a dude and a girl, and the girl that was hitting her looked just like the dude. So it could be, or it could be photoshopped. I don't know. I got to bring that video to light or whatever. But I looked at both. I was like, I seen the dude, I seen the girl, and it was like identical. It was crazy though. So it could have been a transie though, because he was hitting the shit out of her hard, or she was hitting the shit out of her hard. You could tell by the swings.
And folks should just be real careful. I'm going to post the actual pages of her family and make sure that people have the pages that they should be following. And as you said, this particular GoFundMe that was started by Quilla Long is the official page, the official GoFundMe for her family.
Okay. All right, then. Tamika, certainly keep us up to date on what happens in this case, and we definitely would, the family, if they want to come on, they certainly are welcome to do so.
We can have them
we got to keep this out there, because the reality is, and this is why I say this all the time, and people, I love these people who are like, oh man, you always talking about yourself. Here's the deal: if Shanquella was named Lisa and was white, it is undeniable. If you look at the case of that missing white woman, I mean, every network, every newspaper, they have folks assigned to it. There is no way in the world a white woman ends up dead. In fact, national media has been all over those four white folks in Idaho, roommates who got killed. Yeah. And it's crazy how this story has been totally ignored. This is why black-owned media matters. being able to drive this out there, because when black folks come up missing or come up dead, we get ignored by mainstream white media, and we got to make sure that we're putting this story and we're keeping it out there until justice is actually served.
Facts.
Yeah, I won't.
Facts.
I'm not going to get into a long thing about that because I might call out some of our friends that are on TV who also didn't cover the story over this last week. I think it's actually
But
despicable.
that's what happens when you don't have control over your show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Right.
thank you, Roland. Thank you for helping us. And there have been, I think Dateline NBC did something on Instagram, and there's been a few things here and there. Of course, the Grio and some of our other Black-owned networks and pages. Of course, our blogs. But nonetheless, it's not getting the Natalie Holloway type of
Right.
press, which it
Right.
should be at this point. Those individuals who know the story of what happened to Shanquella Robinson should not be able to walk to a store. They
Hush.
should not be able to go anywhere at all. They should be in a position that if anyone sees them, they will be called out and the police will be called so that they can be picked up immediately. And what happens is when you don't have mainstream media covering these cases, people are able to hide in what they believe is the darkness. But I don't think this is going to go on much longer. I will say that the local media in Charlotte and in North Carolina, several reporters have gone to the addresses of the individuals. Like different people have been sharing the addresses online, which I do not think you should do. So let me just say, I do not suggest that anyone share people's addresses because if something happens at that address, you will be maybe connected to it, and we don't want to see that happen. But when
Facts.
these reporters went to those addresses, they knocked on the doors. No one is answering. Many of the places, there's no one home because they've been staking out the residences. So at this point, it seems as if entire families have been uprooted from their homes to try to figure out where to go while they lay low. And if I'm a parent, I have a son, he's 23 years old. I love my son so much. But if I find out, which I know he would never be, because if he does something in this realm, I'm going to kill him before anybody else can get to him. But nonetheless, if he was involved in something like this, understanding what this family is going through, I would make sure that he goes forward and tells the truth about what took place. And I think all families
Exactly.
and anybody, friends or whomever, who knows about this situation should make sure that if you are harboring one of these individuals, that they turn themselves in and report what took place in that house.
Now, if they on the run, they guilty. They said she died because of alcohol poison. Why would y'all be running? You would stick around and try to figure it out with them. Guilty. Real talk. The way she was getting hit on that video, that could crack somebody's spine. I mean, your neck. Man, come on, man. Man, that's cold, bro. And she paid for all that shit. And they took the cheese she had on her. They gave the person shit back, but took all the cheese. That's crazy.
All right, Tamika Mallory, appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Man.
Thank you.
Pound, Dr. Amakongo Debinga, professorial lecturer, School of International Service, American University. Also, Georgia State Representative Renita Shannon and Nola Haynes. She, of course, with the Georgetown University School of Foreign Service. Glad to have all three of you here. I mean, this is just mind-boggling. That a group of friends going to Mexico, celebrating birthday, one ends up being killed, and the others are completely silent. Stories are all over the place, and this is just, I mean, this causes, this raises the alarm for a lot of people, Nola, who take trips with friends, and these were so-called longtime friends, and they're clamming up now, not talking to the family members. I mean, this is just all around an absolutely weird, strange story.
Guilty.
It absolutely is. And, firstly, I definitely want to thank Tamika Mallory and everyone involved for everything that they do, especially, you raised the point that it's not, all over national media. So if it's not for, I literally found out about it on Instagram, from the Black blogs. I think it was allhiphop.com that
Me too. Real talk though, man. It wasn't like no news that I found it out from.
That was reporting on it. And I'm a avid news watcher and I haven't seen it. And so it's what, one of those situations where, because of Black media, that this story is getting the attention, but another point that's really troubling to me is because we live in a moment where everyone has their cameras out and everything is entertainment. It really worries me about some of the lengths in which people will go to create entertainment. It was something interesting that Tamika said, that maybe it was a joke at first, but then it turned into something else. And that really that scares me. It scares me because we've had people die falling off cliffs and falling off like really extravagant kind of buildings from trying to do it for the gram. And I'm just very worried about the lengths in which people will go to possibly create entertainment. Now, we do not have all the facts yet about this beautiful young woman who lost her life in her college
Very
years.
beautiful.
But one of the things that's really, insidious here is
Look at
the
that.
way in which recording everything at all times
Rest
for
in peace, baby.
entertainment factors into this. And I really think that that's an area in which it deserves a lot of attention. It deserves a lot of research, because this do it for the gram kind of lifestyle that everyone has kind of bought into is part and parcel of the problem too.
That was the case, Omakongo. You're sitting here, you're watching that video, and you have someone else who's also recording the video, and they're commenting as if it's a WWE match, as if it's a UFC match, a boxing match. And I'm like, if you're friends, you're just gonna stay in there and record it. You're literally not gonna say, "What the hell y'all done? Stop it." I mean, that's nuts.
And that also goes to what Dr. Haynes was saying as well, that this was planned. There was some aspect of this that was staged. You don't just automatically pull your phone out unless you know something's going to go down or you're witnessing something already in the act. And this is being part of that culture. It's sort of like when people, back in the day before the cell phone cameras and everything, someone would be standing on a building and instead of trying to talk them down, everybody's just like, jump, jump, jump. And now we're just living that like a million times over. And so to see that, it really reflects a level of just disgust in terms of where we are in terms of our society and our mentality. But two other things that come to mind.
Look at that.
With what you're doing with the story tonight, Roland, and how many of us have been talking about it. No one better be out there saying that Black people only care about crime against Black people when white people do something like racist or hate crime. We care about all of our people. We care about all of our family, and we don't care who the perpetrators are. We're going to fight for justice for them, period. And then the second thing I want to say is to Khalil. Khalil, if you are listening or watching in any way, shape, or form, do the right thing. You've been with this family. You've traveled with this family. You know what's going on. You need to man up and you need to handle this, because this is all this family has, is a video like this that might have been taken by you. We don't know. But this is the time for you to stop hiding, get out there and do the right thing now and get ahead of this, just like the rest of Black America is doing right now to support their sister and their family. You who are closer to the family than any of us, get out there and do the right thing today.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video.
That's
in
facts,
just
man.
one moment.
Hey, real talk, man. We finna get up out of here though, but hey, keep your eyes open. Keep them cameras on, baby.
Storming today, giving out treats for everyone. We hope to see everyone at the polls when it comes to November.
If you believe we got power, let them know. Make some noise. Put a fist up. I need to see a fist in the air because we got power. Come on, you put it up. Come get your shirt. We're out here in the streets of Savannah, Georgia.
Hey.
Do not forget to go vote. I got you. If we vote the right people in, we can make a change. We can get these resources in our community.
Real facts. Real facts. Everybody, life matter.
And it is important that we have the say-so of what we want to do with our bodies.
We're concentrating on entrepreneurism,
Come
providing
on.
young people with
Let's
resources
get it,
and
baby.
training that they need in order to change their trajectories. We want
Yes.
right now.
Let's get it.
Democracy's on the ballot. Voting rights is on the ballot. Voting suppression is on the ballot.
Come on, y'all.
I'm passionate about those three combined because they all impact each other.
Savannah is my home. I care about my community, and I care about representation in my community.
Love, y'all. Black love. White love. Chinese love.
Our
We
voices
need
are still
love.
going to be heard no matter what kind of obstacles try to come up against us to stop us from voting. We're still going to be standing our ground.
Exactly. Come on, baby.
I see the effort that's being made to keep our communities from voting. So that makes me realize it's even more important, because if it wasn't important, they wouldn't be fighting to make sure we couldn't vote.
Right. Oh,
This
man.
doesn't stop this year. This is a forever movement.
Come on, baby.
We're going to exert our power as a people. Walk in our rightful place. We're going to change our communities, fight for our communities, and build our communities.
Not hating on nobody else, baby. Not hating on nobody else. We up out of here. Hit squad. And reckless. You know what I'm saying? MC Doc, baby. We came to do this. You heard?